Good evening, everyone. I am Prakrut Chauhan and I've scored 99.89 in this year's CAT. And today I'll talk to you about my strategy, about things that worked for me, and how I went about the exam. So I'll start with section wise strategy and then I'll just give you an overview about general tips. So the first section, that is the VARC, the verbal and reading comprehension section. Now, this section is a section that troubles a lot many people. But for me, it was always been my favorite section because I have always have a habit of reading. Since previously I was preparing for UPSC, I had a habit of reading newspapers daily. So this helps to improve my vocabulary, my reading speed. It helps me comprehend complex articles. So I would strongly recommend that all of you start reading newspaper from today itself. Just pick any good English newspaper and thoroughly read it. Go through the editorials. And when you're reading, try to understand the new words. You don't even need a dictionary, just have an app on your phone and just look up the words that you find difficult. So when you do this, it will improve your reading speed and it will also improve your ability to grasp concepts which are alien to you. So, for example, if you read some topics related to economics or science and technology or politics, it will help you understand passages from different areas. Because in CAT, there will always be passages that are from different domains. Secondly, reading newspaper is another benefit that it will help you in your general knowledge, general awareness, which you will need it in your interview rounds post CAT. So make this a habit from today itself. Now, how about how to attempt VARC questions? So for that, everybody has a different strategy. For me, the strategy is that I first go through the passage, I quickly read it, and then I just look at the questions, the 4 or 5 questions that are part of each reading comprehension. I just look at the questions, so I know what I want to look for in the comprehension passage. Now, the idea obviously is to practice more and more RCs. So when you're practicing RCs, what I have noticed is that people often look for the right answer. They just find the answer and they move on to the next question. But if you want to improve your VARC skills, you must also justify why the other 3 options are wrong. If you develop this ability to find the wrong options, then it gets very easy because elimination then just becomes a habit. So always look for the right answer and then also try to understand the reasons why the other 3 options are wrong. This will really help you in solving passages quickly. Apart from that, do not practice too many RCs in one day. Have a habit of just solving 1-2 RCs every day. You have nearly 1 year before you attempt your CAT. So just solve 1 RC. It does not take a lot of time. So this is my general advice for VARC section. Moving on to DILR. Now, in DILR, the most important thing is to pick up the right set. All the sets are not of same difficulty. There are some sets which are easier and there are some sets which are slightly tough. They're more difficult. So first you must just go through all the questions, like the main sets, and you must develop the skill to identify which set is suitable to your strengths and weaknesses. So always target the set which is easier first. And this will only happen through practice. Just go through the previous year questions and start developing your own preference for which type of topics you're comfortable with. For example, graphs or charts. These are usually easier to attempt in my opinion. So I used to do them first. In DILR, accuracy is very important. So if you pick a set, just go through it. Be patient with it and focus on the set. I've often felt that if you do not concentrate while solving the DILR questions, you will find it very difficult to solve the subsequent MCQs. So my advice is that be patient with DILR and pick the correct sets, and that's it. Moving on to also one more thing for DILR. If you are able to improve your calculation speeds, then it will greatly benefit in saving time. For example, I used to know the percentages of all the fractions. So for example, from 1/2, 1/3 up till 1/20, I know the percentages. So if you ask me what's 1/3, it's 33, you know it. So similarly, be aware of all percentages till 1/20. So 1/8 3 is 33.33, 1 by 6 is 16.66, 1 by 12 is 8.33, so on and so forth. So it will help you in quick calculations. This mental math will help you save valuable seconds, which overall will benefit you greatly. Now coming on to the quant part. Now quant, it's very important to have a clarity of concepts. If you are picking up one topic today, let's say ratio and proportion, just be completely thorough with it. Have conceptual clarity, because otherwise you will struggle uh, if the questions are twisted. So if you are doing one topic, go do it perfectly, and just identify your strengths and weaknesses. You do not need to master every single topic. I was not good at geometry questions that much, so I did not put extra efforts in improving myself at geometry. Instead, I worked on my own strengths. It was like speed, distance, and time and work, percentage, profit and loss. So all these topics I worked more because I was already comfortable with them. Now, beyond this, I would like to give you some general tips about the CAT exam. The first and the foremost is the D Day, that how to approach the exam on the D Day. I've often found that people who used to score very high on mocks, they struggled on the D Day because they panicked. This is an exam that tests your nerves, it tests your confidence. So when you are giving the exam, just be at complete peace. You should not, worry about what will happen if I do not score well, what I will miss my dream colleges. Just don't have those thoughts. In 2 hours, just focus on the paper. And when you are solving a CAT, there is a possibility that your first, if you're in different slots, so if you're in the first slot, one section is very difficult. You must not panic. If it's difficult for you, it's difficult for everyone else. Just be patient. Do not think about the questions that you have already attempted. Do not think about the future questions. Just focus on the question in front of you on the screen. The other thing I would like to say is that, I mean, this is 1 year away for you, but when you get your hall tickets, when you get your admit cards, you have your slot fixed. It could be morning, noon, afternoon. So start giving mocks in that particular time slot. So your brain will be, in that habit of getting activated in that time slot. So for example, for me, it was, if your slot is from 4 to 6, you should, in the last 2 weeks, start giving all the mocks in that time period. So you will be in that habit of solving questions. Other thing I would like to add is that when you are giving mock test, you should not just give mocks and just look at the result. It's very important to analyze the mock tests. Look where you are doing well, analyze where you are doing poorly, and build on your strengths and try to counterbalance your weaknesses. A lot of the times people just give mocks and just move on to other mocks. Analyzing mocks is very important. Apart from it, yes, it is very important to give time tests. If you are giving sectional test, also do it in a timed manner. If you are not giving time test, there is no meaning of giving the test. So overall, the idea is more you practice, the better you get. It is a difficult exam, but it is not that difficult. You have 1 whole year. uh, just put in dedicated efforts every single day. And if you are, this is an exam where you just uh, improve proportionately in terms of the efforts you put in. So it's all about practice, and all your efforts will be reflected on the D Day. So it's very important to also be calm on the D Day. Otherwise, all your year-long efforts will be wasted. So from right now, start developing a mindset where you give exam without any pressure. So yeah, that's about it. So I am from a computer engineering background, and I very soon realized that doing a technical back-end job, coding job, is not something for me. For MBA, the reason why I want to do an MBA is that it first of all allows me to use my non-technical skills, interpersonal skills, and most importantly, it allows you to work uh, at a scale. Today, some of the corporates have a wide influence across countries. So the impact that you can create is unparalleled. Other part is the diversity of the jobs. Today, there are so many different uh, things that you can do with an MBA. You can focus on finance or in sales and marketing, operations, consulting. Such wide variety of roles are opened if you are doing an MBA. Otherwise, for me, my roles were very limited in the IT field. So these are two main reasons: the diversity, impact. So when I was in my final year of computer engineering, I decided that I will start UPSC prep. I taken a job because of the importance of work experience that it is in every field. I mean, no matter what you do. But very soon I left my job because I realized that I cannot balance UPSC prep and my job. Uh, Now I've been preparing for the past 2 years for UPSC, and now I have decided to give CAT. Now the reason for this is that when I started my UPSC prep, I had very clear mindset that if I do not clear it in 2 attempts, I don't want to give more attempts, because the gap years that it creates will affect my future career prospects. So I immediately activated my plan B. After 2 attempts, I cleared prelims both the times, but I could not clear mains. And therefore, I was very clear that 2 years of UPSC and then it's MBA in SCAT. So I did not have a full. I mean, I for 3 months I balanced my UPSC prep and my job, but I then left my job to pursue full time UPSC preparation. And in UPSC there is a CSAT paper, so that already has verbal and quant questions. So I did not exclusively prepare for CAT. My background in engineering, my reading habits, and the CSAT paper were enough to attempt CAT. I mean, honestly, for me, I had no exclusive preparation. I mean, there are people who clear it in 1 month. I personally do not have any extra preparation because till September I was writing mains. It all depends on your comfort with the different sections. So I think if you give a mock test right now today, you will be able to judge how comfortable you are with quant, with VARC, and accordingly you should make your own strategy. But
Yes.
1 year is more than enough. If you are appearing for CAT next year, you have more than enough time to excel. So for comprehension, like you mentioned, is more important. So reading is the first step, and comprehending is the second step. So for my UPSC preparation, I read the newspaper very exhaustively. I spend nearly 45 minutes to 1 hour reading the newspaper. So in that, it is very important to understand the ideas that the writer is trying to convey. So when I'm reading the editorial, I am not just reading it for the sake of reading. I try to understand what is the argument he's trying to forward, what is the reasoning that he's giving for his argument, what are the different ideas that he has explored. All this all this process also helps in reading comprehension while attempting CAT. So if you look at the question, sometimes the idea is what is the central theme of this question. So once you have a long experience, if you have a good experience in understanding the editorials, the same skills will be helpful in attempting RC questions. For example, if you read different topics, for example, from philosophy, economics, science and technology, so you will have that comfort level. Often people struggle just reading. The first step is reading. So many people just struggle in reading the RC comprehension. So reading is something that will definitely help you, but it has to be along with comprehension, not just reading for the sake of reading. See another question in chat. Till quant section comes up, people feel exhausted. What are the tips to choose questions in quants? So this time I attempted 10 questions, and I attempted all the questions from the topics that I was comfortable with. Now, everybody will be comfortable with different topics. So to find that out, you have to practice more and more quant sectionals. But for me, it was like I mentioned: speed, distance, time, profit loss, arithmetic questions, ratio, proportion. So I used to just go through the questions, and if it is something which I'm comfortable in, I used to attempt that question. One thing that I would like to add here is that do not spend too much time on one question. Sometimes you feel that I'm very good with profit and loss, and you are still not able to solve the questions. Then do not let the ego interfere. If you're not able to solve it after giving enough time, move on to the next questions. There are enough questions for you to attempt. So I think I have divided into three buckets. First is your graduation. So you must be ready to answer questions, technical questions from your graduation subject. Second would be that if you are work ex, so how that work experience has shaped you. That is another important topic. Third is your personal life journey. I've heard it from other toppers, is that you should have a very clear autobiography in your mind, right from the childhood till this uh, present moment, about things that you are proud of, things, your achievements, how you have converted your weakness into strengths. Your entire autobiography should be very clear to you, because the interviewers will grill you on your life. And of course, day to current affairs and general knowledge is very important. It's important to brush knowledge about it. Start reading newspaper. That is greatly beneficial. This is a question still that I'm still thinking over, because I'm also in my currently personal interview preparation. My short-term goal obviously would be to excel at my MBA for the next 2 years, and get a job in the field that I'm interested in, which is consulting. 40 years down the line, the idea is to be happy, contribute positively to the society. That's the long-term goal.